The night air was heavy with silence as the old minivan creaked into the parking lot of a small convenience store on the edge of town. Inside sat the Ramirez family: Miguel, his wife Sofia, and their two kids, Lucia and Diego. They were exhausted from a 12-hour shift at a poultry plant and just wanted to grab some milk before heading home. The children were half asleep in the back seat, the car smelling faintly of fried chicken from leftover work meals. Miguel kissed his wife's hand before stepping out. 5 minutes, he whispered. His boots dragged as he walked toward the store's bright lights. But before he even reached the door, red and blue lights cut through the night. A police cruiser pulled in fast, tires spitting gravel. Officer Harlan stepped out, a man built like a wall, with a shaved head and a smirk that made your skin crawl. "Hey," Harlan barked, his flashlight beam slicing across Miguel's face. "Where you from? This your car?" Miguel froze, words catching in his throat. "Yes, sir. We live here. Just buying milk." His accent was soft but noticeable. Harlan sneered. "License and registration. Right now." From inside the van, Sophia's heart raced. She held the kids close as Harlan's flashlight swung toward them. He tapped the glass with his baton, harder than necessary. "Roll the window down, lady. You legal? You speak English?" Sophia's hands shook as she obeyed. "Yes, sir, we live here." Quiet." Harlan cut her off, eyes narrowing on the children. "No seatbelts back there. That's a violation. Looks like I got a whole list of problems tonight." He leaned closer, voice dropping into a cruel whisper. "People like you think you can just take and take. Not in my town." Miguel tried to stand tall, but Harlan shoved him against the hood of the cruiser with a brutal slam. Lucia let out a scream. "Daddy!" That scream echoed into the night, carried to a figure standing in the shadows near the gas pumps. A man in plain clothes, with calm eyes that had seen too many battlefields, watched silently. His name was Daniel Cole, an Army intelligence officer back from a covert assignment overseas. He'd stopped to grab a pack of cigarettes, but now his instincts locked on the scene unfolding. His training taught him to observe before acting. He measured the officer's aggression, the family's fear, and the way the situation escalated with every second. His jaw clenched. Daniel's inner voice whispered the same words it always did before he stepped into conflict. "Don't make a move until you know the battlefield." But watching a man abuse his badge, watching children cry while their father was pinned against steel, that battlefield had already chosen him. The cold metal of the cruiser pressed against Miguel's cheek as Officer Harlan yanked his arm back harder than necessary. Miguel grunted in pain, his knuckles scraping the hood. Sophia's voice cracked as she pleaded from inside the van. "Please, sir, he hasn't done anything," Harlan smirked. "Shut up before I haul you in two. Maybe immigration would like to hear about you." He loved the way those words drained color from their faces. From the shadows, Daniel Cole's pulse slowed instead of quickening. Years of combat had trained him to see chaos as a puzzle pieces to rearrange until order returned. He scanned Harlan's stance, the tilt of his baton, the aggressive set of his jaw. This wasn't about law. It was about power. Daniel stepped forward. His boots echoed on the pavement, steady and deliberate. "Evening, officer," he said calmly, voice firm but polite. Harlan's head snapped toward him, irritation flashing in his eyes. "Keep walking, pal. This doesn't concern you." Daniel stopped a few feet away, posture relaxed, hands visible. "It concerns me when I see a man roughing up a family in a parking lot. Doesn't look like procedure to me." Harlan stiffened, his authority challenged. "You military?" His eyes narrowed, scanning Daniel's build, the controlled way he moved. "You smell like one of those army boys. Think that means you can lecture me?" Daniel's expression didn't shift. "I think it means I've seen men who abuse their power before. And I've seen what happens to them." His tone carried the weight of a warning, quiet but sharp as a blade. The children inside the van pressed their faces to the glass, wide-eyed, sensing a shift. Sophia's hands clutched the steering wheel, whispering a prayer. Harlan puffed up, baton tapping against his leg. "Listen here, hero. These people don't belong here. You got a problem with me doing my job, you can file a complaint tomorrow. Right now, back off." Daniel's gaze locked onto Harlan's, steady and unblinking. "Funny thing," he said, pulling a small wallet from his jacket. He flipped it open to reveal a military ID with a classified insignia most civilians wouldn't recognize. Tomorrow, that might be too late. Harlan faltered for just a second, eyes flicking to the badge, then back to Daniel's unreadable face. The silence stretched long and heavy. "Who the hell are you?" Harlan muttered. Daniel stepped closer, his voice dropping low so only Harlan could hear. "The kind of man who makes sure people like you get noticed. Every camera around here, already recording. Every move you make tonight, already reported. You want to keep pushing this?" Harlan's jaw tightened. He glanced at the van, then at Miguel pinned against the hood. He wanted to push back, wanted to show his dominance. But something in Daniel's calm confidence cut deeper than any threat. Miguel looked up, pain in his eyes but also something new, hope. For the first time that night, he saw the balance of power shifting. And in that moment, Harlan realized he wasn't the one being watched anymore. Harlan's grip on Miguel's arm loosened, but only for a moment. Pride swelled inside him louder than reason. He shoved Miguel away from the hood and squared up to Daniel. "You think you scare me?" His voice was tight, trembling with rage. "You flash some badge, play soldier boy, and I'm supposed to crawl." Daniel didn't flinch. His eyes were sharp, calculating, like he'd already mapped 10 different outcomes. "I don't need you to crawl," he said evenly. "I need you to stop harassing this family before you ruin your career, or worse." Miguel staggered back toward the van, Sophia quickly opening the door to shield him. The kids clung to their mother, eyes brimming with tears, watching two men face off under the store's buzzing fluorescent lights. Harlan laughed bitterly, pulling his radio off his belt. "Backup's 2 minutes away. You're done sticking your nose in my business." Daniel's calm finally broke into steel. He stepped forward, close enough that Harlan could feel his breath. "Call them. Do it, because when they get here, they'll see your body cam conveniently turned off. They'll see surveillance footage of you threatening a family in front of a witness with federal clearance. You think they'll side with you?" For the first time, Harlan's smirk slipped. His thumb hovered over the radio button, but hesitation bled through his bravado. Then a voice echoed from the store entrance. "Already got all of it, buddy." Both men turned. The cashier, a college kid with shaky hands, held up his phone, the red recording light blinking. He'd caught the whole ordeal. Harlan's face went pale. Daniel leaned closer, his whisper cutting like glass. "You're not the hunter tonight. You're the hunted." For a tense moment, Harlan's breathing was the only sound. His chest rose and fell, his knuckles white around the radio. Then, with a grunt of frustration, he shoved it back onto his belt. "Fine," he spat, pointing at Miguel. "Get out of here. But this isn't over." Sophia didn't wait for a second invitation. She helped Miguel into the passenger seat, the kids scrambling inside. The van's engine sputtered to life. Relief and terror tangled in Miguel's chest as he watched the man who had nearly destroyed his family stand powerless for once.